very good evening, everyone. I'm Siti Shawanda from UITM Technology of Mara, Malaysia. I am a graduate, postgraduate student master of integrated construction project management from College Lead Environment. Firstly, I would like to express my appreciation to Miss Margaret from Konklution Jakarta, Indonesia, for giving us valuable opportunity. Thank you. Having this session, which is willing to share with us her experience as hotel consultant. Yes. Yeah. And then million thanks, except to our winners lecturer behind. Prof. Media TS Dr. Rumaiza. Dr. Rumaiza, welcome. And then TS Dr. Juliana Ibrahim. Dr. Juliana, welcome. And then also my esteemed friends, with my team, Halida. Hello, welcome. Aisha, Seher, Fazana, and Aisha Aras. Hi, welcome. So this is my team. And then also the audience that joined us via online. Yeah, there are some joined via online. Okay, last but least, to our invited guests. This is your friend? Yeah, this is my clients. Oh, your clients. Some are also my friend. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Okay. Firstly, I would like to brief today's event or we're having this session. Basically, we have a task for this semester to having a subject-related simulation project in Bandung. This is to propose development of tourism facilities through a public-private partnership with concept of sustainable development. So this assignment is required us to create a virtual integrated project. And then we assign to simulate the development taking a PPP tender processed by Indonesian government in Greenwater Sustainable Resort. Okay. Basically, this project we intend to have it in Bandung. So as for you already know about Bandung, right? Basically, this is di Bandung have the natural landscape, and then they follow the eco-tourism, the city. So that's why showing the uniqueness of Bandung. Next slide. Okay, so and then what we find from the side is along the Chicago road, they have a golf course known as the Dago Heritage Golf Course, which is about 100 years afraid. Be able to interview the manager. Yes. Then the golf course operated 100 years ago and known as the old one within Bandung. Okay. So the landmark of this area is the golf course there, and also this Bandung area known as the University City. Next. Okay, next. Okay. And then recently Indonesia having the ski training. We already experienced it. Yeah, they just arrived by bush. Our first time arriving in bush, and then surprisingly we don't feel any. It's very smooth ride. No motion. And then short the distance from Bandung to Jakarta. Okay. So the accessibility of the transportation, and then also the technology of the transportation has been improved for this Jakarta Bandung Jakarta. And then Bandung also that we collect data yesterday. And that people from Jakarta will come to Bandung during weekends. Next. Okay, this is like I mentioned before that we traced about the vision of the sun, and then the transportation that we have surrounded. Okay, next. Okay, this is the actual site. Okay, we have both the site, and then part of this area is flattened, and then there is sloping. And then they have quite narrow road because we know that road in Jakarta does not fit to all the two-way cars. Next. Okay, so this is what the topography view of the site. So this is our visual project as an exercise of this task. Okay, next. So this is the detail of the site, the different 20 meter level, sloping. I think this is more technical part. Next. This is the surrounding what they have. I think so this is more technical part. You can skip this slide. Next. Next. This was designed for analysis. Okay, next. Still next. Okay, this is what the outcome of the analysis. The strength of the location, because this area is high elevation of the area, and the whole environment is from greater, and then it's away from the hotspot of the city, and then this is established tourism location, have a lot branded hotel around. Okay, the weakness in the sloping area, this is one that we have to make tackle, and then the opportunity that we find out that it could be an alternative for the service of the facility that we can take over for this project. And then the trick that we need to encounter is to become a strong competitor for the existing or established hotel operator surround. Okay. Next. Okay, this is just amazing of the area. But after the site visit, the model of this building change. Yeah. Okay. After the building of the real data. Okay. So for today, our Margaret will share with us because we have some small discussion before this.
Yeah.
How to develop the process to develop of the project, what need to consider step by step after we get the costing, the ROI, and also the regulation that we need to comply, especially in Bandung. So I think I pass to Margaret.
Okay.
Margaret.
Thank you, Shah. Okay. So, Rose, can we switch to the other presentation? We will go for the icebreaker. For those who haven't known me, this is so I graduated from my first degree is from actually Bandung. So I know Bandung not just like outside visitor, but I lived there for 4.5 years as a university student there. So my first degree is actually in Bandung, not far from the location. And then my second degree is in NUS, National University of Singapore, which I take actually sustainable design. So that's why I understand a bit about your questions about environment, energy, etc. So I have been working with Marriott for 10 years, and before that I worked in Banyan Tree for 4.5 years. And recently, starting this year, I started my own consultancy firm, Konklution. And within my experience, I have exposure to the departments. And 20 years. Oh, sorry. And I have opened 24 hotels. International and local brands. Actually now 25, I haven't updated. Just early this month, I helped to open Mariana Resort at Samoset, Lake Toba. 8th of November, they just opened. Okay, next. Okay, this is the hotels that I opened. So some are banyan tree, but mostly is actually from Marriott brand. So if you are aware, later on I will show. Although it says like Fairfield or Korea, but those who are aware with Marriott is actually a group of Marriott. The brands is different brands here. Okay, next. Okay, a little bit of icebreaker. Why do you come to this event? Who come here for learning? Okay, so all of us, yeah, come for learning. Who come here to expanding my network? Okay, some? Okay, yes? Good, good. Any other reason that I don't point out here?
To catch up with you.
Catch up with me, okay. I know this, I know Shah from Afik. So Afik is actually from owner's team in Malaysia in one of our projects. We work together for Fairfield, Kuala Lumpur, Pahang. Yeah, Jalan Pahang. So they have like area named Pahang, but also Jalan Pahang. So if you mix it, people will get this, yeah. Okay, next icebreaker, next slide. Okay, quiz. I think those who pick cannot answer, yeah. Maybe those who already see the PDF cannot answer. Where is the oldest hotel in the world is located? You want to answer it? Okay. Japan. Japan. Okay. Anyone else? From Malaysia? Indonesia. Okay. Oh, in the Zoom. Okay. Zoom. Japan. Okay. Cannot cheat, yeah? Don't Google, yeah? Greek. Okay. Oh, so either Japan or Indonesia. Okay. Let's see the answer. Next slide, please. Japan. Anyone wants to guess how long this hotel has been operated? More than 100? Okay. So I think she saw the slides already. Yeah, this hotel has been operated 1,300 years. And it's still operated by the same family. So this is the magnificent, amazing info, yeah. Like usually family business, the third generation, fourth generation started to, gone away. But this family is even oldest than Marriott, than Hilton, Hyatt, or whatever. 1,300 is even also considered as the oldest company in the world because more than 1,000 years. So it's quite amazing. So if you have time to go to Japan, please visit. Yeah, and then, okay, next icebreaker. This one. Where is the largest hotel resort in the world? America, Russia, Macau, Malaysia. Malaysia. Okay, I think she saw that. Okay, any other answer? Malaysia? Okay, which hotel? Genting. Okay. Next slide. Yes, correct. So the largest hotel in the world with 7,351 rooms. This is like a city already, yeah? It's actually Genting, Malaysia. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. Okay, next one. Okay, so this one just now, Shah already gave some introduction of the project. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. So, okay, hotel versus resort. Anyone wants to give an answer? What is the difference between hotel and resort? You wanna answer?
I think hotel is like the location is near the city and resort is more like
Outskirts. Yes. Any other things? Maybe from the university, you want to answer? My answer is same. Same. Yeah. Any other answer? Any other answer? Okay, let's go to the next slide for the answer. Yeah, so hotels are mostly located in central locations, yeah, near tourist attraction, while resort is more outskirts. But I think the other important point is mostly a resort they have scenic view. This is the key, yeah. Or else is the experience. Something that they want to sell that people are willing to go to the site even though it's far from the central location, but something interesting for them to visit and experience over there. Okay? Next. Okay. What's the difference between designing a hotel and a resort? Yeah. So I just give like the bigger factors here. First is of course land size. Yeah. Land size on the resort mostly bigger because it offers scenic view or experience. Then room size also because they tend to stay longer. Yeah, maybe 3 to 5 days, sometimes even 5 to 7 days. So it's different with airport hotel or city hotel, which probably only overnight or only go to the meeting and then go. So room size very different because they stay longer, so we want to give a bigger room for them to experience resort. Next, public area and room design also very different, right? So the public area in the resort, you can see all the lobbies, usually quite big, it offers scenic view, while for the city it's more compact, fast, right? Fast check-in, fast check-out, right? And then usually also the hotel facilities, most of the time it has spa, right? Sometimes it even have like sauna, salon, right? Kids club, beach club, all these facilities not necessarily exist in the city hotel. Yeah, the room design and then also hotel services. Yeah, for a resort, usually you rely back on the services because people want to relax, people want to enjoy. So mostly the expectation would be to have in-room dining, right? Because they want to enjoy the leisure. Okay, next one. Next slide. Okay, there are types of resort. Beach resort, mountain resort, desert resort, cliff, cave, igloo resort, glamping, and so on. So if you can see, most of them driven by the geographic, yeah, where it is located, right? So each resort will be different on how you design it. Like if you design a beach resort, what is the one, let's say, give me one thing that design-wise would be different from the mountain. Just one thing. Beach. Topography, okay. The height. Altitude.
Sea level of the area.
Sea level of the area, okay. Any other answer? So, beach resort, even within 2 kilometers of the beach resort, all the sprinklers must be rust-proof. This is the thing that sometimes architect or interior designer are not really aware, because the sea, the wind from the sea, tends to make the iron rusty faster. And not just that, actually the wood also have to have like we call it the shrinkage and the expansion of the material. Yeah. So even if you want to choose a ceiling fan, you have to choose the one that is durable because the heat changes are quite varies. Yeah. Another thing to think about, for example, because sea tends to have a tsunami impact, right? So if you go to certain websites, there are data for the tsunami-prone locations. Later on, I will share one of my projects in Lombok. We have to think about not just earthquake evacuation, but tsunami evacuation. And it's actually contradictory or very different with fire. So fire wants you to go from the building down, right, outside from the building. But tsunami wants you to go up to the building, to the tallest one. So that's why the more complicated the location, the more challenges and the more holistic a planner should think, right? Maybe we go to the previous slide first. Okay, desert resort. the temperature different between night and day very different, right? So what you think is insulation, right? Insulation and also dust. Dust can go easily, and maintenance, you have to think about the maintenance, how to make it easy to maintain, right? Cave. Cave, what is the characteristic of cave? Humidity.
And then the location is sand and the sandstone.
Yeah, sandstorm or even dripping from the water, because it's very natural. We don't know where the water comes, whether it's actually solid or not. So the more complicated the geographic location, the more the architect has to think, and sometimes architect alone is not enough. We need spatial structure consultant. Yeah, okay. Next to the next slide. Okay, this is some of the different resort. Of course, I take the very iconic one. There's an igloo resort in Finland, made all from glass. But if we do this in Asia, we will be roasted, right? It's greenhouse effect, so we cannot do it. It looks good on the picture, but we cannot do it in Asia. Second, this Poseidon Undersea Resort in Fiji is all glass. You see this only like this, but actually the glass could be 10 to 30 centimeter big. This is not no joke, yeah. The last one, this one is not open, it's actually in Bali. Private jet. So this is a Russian investor. He bought a commercial plane, he changed it into private jet villa. But the booking for the next year is full book. And the price is 17 juta. 17 million per night.
Where's the location?
It's on the tebing Nyang. Yeah. So if you go to the Instagram, it's already very heavy Instagram, social media, but not open yet. But the booking is already for the next 1 year. So we know now, hotel media or hotel marketing is no longer traditional. Yeah. This one is survived only by Instagram. Can you imagine? You can actually Google. The price is already there in the Google. If you Google Google Map or whatever Google search, and yeah, the booking is fully booked. Okay, next one. Okay, this is Grotto Bar, Hyatt Regency Maui. They created pool bar in the cave. So just now we discussed the cave, the structure, but the experience, of course, something that is unforgettable. And once it's unforgettable, people will share, right? People will be word of mouth. So again, Undersea Resort Fiji. Okay, the top corner. Actually, it's the slimmest building. It's the slimmest hotel in Indonesia with only 2.8 meter width. So you measure from there to here only. 2.8 meter, 7 rooms only. It's called P2. P2 is actually in Japan means 7. So they only operate 7 rooms, and on the top is APD or dynamic, and that's it. But you can imagine the creativity that the architect is to think. 2.8 meter within this one. That's the slimmest hotel in Salatiga here. Okay, next. Okay, this is also another cave beach resort in Egypt, yeah. So how to design an interesting, profitable, yet international standard resort, yeah. First, we always get back to our target market, right? If you study the recent target market, the reason next big group of target market is actually the millennials. The millennials and Y and younger. The baby boomer will soon be replaced with them, right? And if we think about branding, for example, Marriott brand that is catered to baby boomer is Regis. Yeah, all the classic and luxury, classic. Later I will share what is luxury classic. Because they are willing to spend, and for them, it's not much on the experience. For them, it's the comfort. How to come in, comfort on the hotel. But millennials and Gen Y is very experience, and also existing in the social media, right? So the way we design cannot be separated from target market. We have to know their habit, we have to know their preference, and designing wrongly could mean that your hotel will not succeed. Yeah. Second, of course, we already discussed a lot just now. Know the site potential and challenges. The third is we need to have expert and creative teams. Yeah. If you're only creative, the structure consultant will scratch their head and how to make this right. I think the structure consultant for Frank Gehry have headache, yeah. But then if you have also the expert, then it's ensuring the safety and the programming is done correctly. Number 4, that is also very important, of course, financial planning. How much is the cost per key? So in hotel, we call it per key. Guest room keys, yeah, not per rooms, we call it per keys, right? And then don't discount on safety standard. Why? Because once the hotel operator actually public has the right to sue you if something is threatening their safety, right? So in Anfresh, Marriott received 1,000 illegal calls every day, all over the world. Yeah. We are talking about 8,000 keys, 8,000 keys operated by Marriott. They have 1,000 legal calls every day. People will try to make money from the legal thing, whatever. So I even Google this one time. There is one lawyer. His target is only to help guests who wants to complain to the hotel. So in his blog, he teaches once you enter into the hotel, you video everything. So you have to prove what is not there, what is there. You have to prove whether the bathroom is safety or not. So there is one lady actually subscribed to his blog, to this lawyer blog. So she entered the bathroom. She actually really video, but she never thinks that something will happen, to be honest. But then later on that day, she slipped on the bathtub. She slipped, she fell, and I think, broke her rib. And she has the proof in the video that there is no grab.
That's just a
little bit. You just need a grab bar, that's it, right? And then this lawyer, of course, assisting. He even put in his blog, if you want to sue, of course, that's how we make money, right? You sue all the international hotel operator or the big hotel operators. That's how we make the big money. He said, don't worry if you don't have money. Yeah, of course, he will make money from the hotel operator, not from the guests, right? He said, I will help you. And this lady get a big compensation actually later. And if you go to his website, this lawyer website, he started it just like, he wants to make money from this hotel that are not safe. So he even teach you on how to make, on how to protect yourself as a guest. Well, in a way it's good, but if you are the hotel operator or you're the hotel owner, you feel like, wow, there are people making money from this, right? So just a little bit, even like in Marriott, that's why we always put under the pool rules, there is no lifeguard on duty. Even this sentence could protect the owner. Only one single sentence, but actually it protects because, hey, we put the signage already, and we already tell you that there is no lifeguard on guard, but you choose to swim or whatever outside of our swimming pool hours, that's your risk.
Is that disclaimer?
Yeah, that's a disclaimer. So that's why signage is also important in hotel, yeah. And of course, the next one, which we will also study, is the local culture and constraints, yeah. Okay, next slide. Okay, this question I will not answer a lot because I actually just give the link later. I think you can forward this to the link. I think this is a very boring topic, so we can skip. So basically, it's just on the how to design on the regulation perspective. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Okay. There's a question. The question is on the website. Yeah. The question from the team is: the resort provider standard parameters as world-class brand, and then what are the parameters as a guideline? Building components that may establish as a world-class resort. Okay. My answer. I think world-class is very vague. Right? How do you want to define world-class? But there's three different terms we can discuss here. World-class, international standard, or 5-star rating. So what's the difference? So international standard, usually it depends on your operator. whether your operator is international or local. Once your operator is local, the brand standard will be local, right? But once your operator is international, you will have international standard. But there are hotel owners who want to have international standard or good quality, and they will hire hotel technical consultant like me to help them build a good and safe hotel, but not necessarily pay the high fee of the operator, international operator. Then 5-star rating. So if you don't know, rating is country different. So 5-star rating in Malaysia very different with 5-star rating in Japan, and even Indonesia is very different. Okay. Talking about international brand, of course, we have items to adhere from finance safety, MEP, economic electric funding, safety and security, which also commonly known as loss prevention. And also hotel brand usually also categorized based on service and quality. So later on, I will show you what is under Indonesia 4-star rating. Yeah. Okay, next slide. Okay. This is the brand under Marriott. The left side we call it classic. Classic meaning the design is very, it's not lifestyle. Very simple, straightforward. And the below, maybe you can naikin sedikit ke atas. There's a courtyard, 4 points, Spring Hill. We call it select service. And then there's a premium. Yeah, and then there's a luxury. So horizontal wise, it's actually based on the tier, yeah, on the luxury, whether it's select service or higher. Because the higher is the more expensive. And then design-wise, we divide into 2, classic and distinctive. So classic, the target market is usually business, traveler, right, baby boomers. And distinctive is mostly very young. If you go to these brands, the website, they play a lot of lightings, colors, rich, expensive, and their target market is like designers, architects or whatever. So this is on the artistic side. So each has their own target market.
So it means that every field is distinguished by the uniqueness of the concept of the field.
Correct. Based on the target market, also second is also driven on the city itself, on the site where it's located. So that's why in the next slide, I will discuss next city lagoon. Next slide. Yes. Okay, just discuss a bit. So Marriott standard, they have this kind of book. This is so they revise every 6 months. Yeah? They update every 6 months. They have the difference between managed or franchise. Yeah, and we have. This is the modules. You can see it's very detailed, and it's 875 pages. It's like a phone book. So this yeah.
So this document is confidential.
This document is confidential, and this document is given only when owner already signed with Marriott. So they are also smart. But actually some naughty owners, or I don't know who else, is actually you can get it in China website. I think we are Taobao or something, it's only $10. Someone use it on the China website, yeah. So, but this is very brand, if you see, and we have the top 33 brands there. So each brand has its own same book, but usually the higher the standard or the rating, it will be getting deeper. Like Fairfax maybe only 600 or 700 pages. Yeah.
Is it the requirement that you have outlined here and be compared with other operators?
I do have the other operator, but I haven't compared apple to apple. But I just give a sample, a very simple example. Yeah. Under the SEC, sound transmission class. Sound transmission class is actually how much the noise from one room could travel to the next room. Meaning, if your next room pull the TV to the maximum, how much noise can travel to your room? Like SEC. So the higher the SEC, it's more sound insulated, meaning the quieter the room. So Marriott requirement for SEC is 55 for the bedroom and 50 for the bathroom. But compare with Accor. Accor is also international, but from French. It's already lower by 5. So Accor is 50, not 55, and the bathroom is also reduced by 50, 45. So that at least only from the same international operator, we are talking about SPC already very different, right? Also, one of the things that always problematic is fire. I think Afrik knows very well.
Yes.
So Marriott requires, not requires actually, they prefer water sprinkler in server room. And of course, every MEP consultant will be surprised and try to argue, right?
Especially in Malaysia.
Especially in Malaysia and also in Indonesia actually. Now, there are a reason for this. Usually the consultant will say, this is data, right? And this is electricity, why you allow water sprinkler? So from Marriott, the answer is, first, actually if you don't use water sprinkler, the option is actually gas. FM200. FM200 is what is very expensive, is actually 200 juta, 200 million or 250 million, around that price. Second is actually this kind of gas, there's a clean gas and there's not clean gas. Not clean gas meaning, if someone still happen in the room and the sprinkler already discharged the gas, he could die of the gas, not because of the fire. So in Marriott perspective, that is more dangerous because we never know if someone is still in the room. And the strongest reason, of course, Marriott do a cloud server system, sister hotel system, meaning your favorite in Jalan Pahang would be stored in W in Kuala Lumpur as well. So they do the sister backup. That's why it's safer. So for them, it doesn't matter, right? If you lose this one, actually you lose the hardware, but the data is never gone. That is one. Second, the data also shows fire in the server room happens only one every 40 years. So it's not that often. So from their perspective, I better help owner to save this 200 million rather than this. But of course, when you bring it to the to the consultants, everyone will like, no, we need to do FM 200, blah, blah. So there's always like, sometimes I would say contradict, sometimes I would say it's just like a higher, not contradict, but a higher standard. And this is the challenges even with Indonesia owners and Malaysia owners, right? Because sometimes they cannot accept this one, the discrepancy. Yeah. Any other questions you want to ask about this?
How about the intelligent system? Is it Marriott going to improvise or inject the system?
What system?
Intelligent building system.
DMS, building management system. We already implement, Marriott already implement usually for mechanical, plumbing, and electrical, and also IT.
Because for the maintenance purpose, right, we don't know which pipe could be
from that one. I'm not sure how exactly is the DIM or in DMS in Marriott, the one that they use. I do know, for example, if a gas leak the room in the DMS, they know that that person is not in the room, is automatically lower the temperature. So that's one already automated. Second, if the water tank debit is low, it should alarm. If it's not automated. So everything already very integrated with building management system. Now the problem is, to be honest, the operator, the team, they having problem to train and find good elements to get able to operate this very complicated system. So we from the design team, maybe we give the Mercedes-Benz spec, right? But then the team who comes never operate Mercedes. They don't know how to operate. And then even the team have problem with the training. So at the end, they don't really use it. And at the end, owner is very discount. I buy this expensive item, but you never use it. Yeah, so yeah, always happen. But in terms of MEP, Marriott is already using this, so it's very integrated, I would say here. Okay, next slide. Okay, local culture has to be considered in order to appreciate the uniqueness of Parliament. Okay, my answer would be that in Malaysia, if I'm mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, it's more really like because you respect the Muslim and Islam, right? So there is like most cities are really very different, right? But in Indonesia, it's very different. Bali and Bandung has a very different. Because Bali, if you go to Bali, people will just put go topless or whatever, and they just accept it as it is because it's very different. That's why designing even in two different cities in Indonesia, either Bandung or Bali, could be very different, right? And Bandung actually is a little bit more conservative. Later, I will show you. So Bandung is also majority is Muslim. So next slide. Okay, the left one is the graphic before input from Bandung. So the Moxie brand was designed by European for the young people, very daring. Actually, on the borderline to hit all the sexual tones, to be honest. So all the Moxie graphic is like that. People with very, medium fabric. But then once we want to design in Asia, the owner said, cannot. If I put this in my ordering room in Bandung, they will protest me. So they do not shoot and they revise the graphic just to respect the culture. And this is what now we have in all Moxie, not just in Bandung, actually in all Asia, because we think more Asia is more conservative, and so not just Moxie Indonesia, but also Moxie Malaysia, Moxie Japan. Now we are going to the right. So you can try to compare. If you go to Moxie Europe, go to the ironing room and see whether the graphic is like that. And the right one is if you go to Moxie Asia. So this is one of the sample how the international hotel operator want to respect the culture, right? Okay, next one. Okay, second, this is the sample. Those who have building or have experience building in Bali knows. In Bali, there's a regulation, any building cannot be taller than 4-story height, which is equal to coconut tree height. Because they believe the temple or the pura has to be the tallest building in all the island. But there are two buildings in all Bali that have more than 4 stories. One is Hotel Hilton Bali, previously Hotel Nico. So this is the story is because they count the coconut tree from the entrance. So it goes down the cliff, and I come there, and the coconut tree is from the entrance, so this one it should be okay. So that's why they can go down. This one is actually not open yet. Now it's part of the government big creative economic zone. Yeah. Then in Bali Beach Channel, it's 500 rooms. Also 10-story. It's built during Soekarno time, the previous president. I don't know, for some reason they can build it. And actually during this renovation, because I was part of it, they actually tear down the whole building, but they still built another 10-story. And they are built, previously only 10-story, why can't you let with 10-story now? But this is one of the two special cases in Bali that allows more than 4-story. To my aware, there is no other buildings that more than 4-story except these two locations.
So with that, if we want to be more than 4-story, we need to find justification.
Justification, or you have to
Make
make it. So most of the time they try to go down. Right? They try to go down, say this or whatever. That's how you quote unquote get more rooms to. Yeah. It also happens in my Lombok case here. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is another cultural sensitivity. This is a hotel that just opened in Danau Toba. If you see the shape of that one, it's taken from the original traditional vernacular architecture of Batak home, yeah, like that. So I think most areas, the local government will ask some vernacular architecture to be implemented into the design before they can approve.
Same like Malaysia in Kelantan. If you build it in Kelantan, they want the features of Islamic. Like
Yes.
So the arch,
Okay, yes.
and then you can see the decoration of Islamic.
Yes.
Same.
Yeah, same. So most of the Indonesia, even in Bali, also different. Yeah, Gianyar is one of the area that is very strong, meaning like it has to be more traditional with all the pitch roof, While some other areas in Bali is quite okay, quite relaxed, you can go with fat growth. So it really depends actually. Yeah. Okay, next slide. Questions. Next question. What are the requirements needed if a foreign investor would have to invest in Indonesia? Okay, I'm just sharing this. So my project in Lombok, actually the investor is from Russia. I even don't know how to copy paste their name in Russia alphabet to my contract. So I really need to take picture with my phone, copy paste, because I don't know how to, make sure the name correctly portrayed, right? So what they do is they have to have a joint partner with Indonesia, and they have to make a PMA, penanaman modal asing. Okay, go to the next slide, first. So this is the sequence for foreign investor if you want to go to build a hotel in Indonesia. There's a lot of checking. First, they will check where is your money come from. And actually there's a concern because Russia is known with money laundering. So there's a lot of background checking with that. And it happens that the project in Lombok is with ITDC, in Indonesia Tourism Development Center, the government also. So they are very strict, right? So they do a lot of checking. Next slide. Okay, so this is also in terms of whatever legalities that you need to go, yeah. I give the link so later you can share with your team to just know. But basically, in Indonesia, the paperwork is really crazy. I don't know about Malaysia. I think we spend a lot of time just to do paperwork.
I think same with Malaysia. We
Same, yeah.
improvise according the latest requirement and also the input from agencies.
Yeah.
Sure the research requirement to suit the current
Some more they change the regulation every 1 or 2 years, right? So we don't know which one they updated, so it's really troublesome. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is the FM200 that I was sharing about. That's actually the gas, the FM200 for the server room. So if you are in Malaysia, they will ask you to put FM200. But if you're working with Marriott, they are okay with water sprinkler, provided the owner is okay. For them, it's simpler using water sprinkler. Yeah. Okay, next slide. Okay. The question is always, so does it mean that lower price has lower security or lower safety? The answer no. So usually they play on the interior side, the finishes, right? So that's the differences. But in terms of safety, we never discount in terms of Marriott. Meaning the safety at Fairfield Hotel and Golden Hotel will be the same. So for final safety is the same. Even hot water coming out in 10 seconds is also the same. They never, so in terms of this, they don't discount, but they do discount. For example, if you're on the St. Regis or Bulgaria, you're probably using veneer, but then if you're in Fairfield, you are using laminate, which is a cheaper version, something like that. So they discount in the room size, right? Facilities in the room. The standard guest room probably just coffee, sachet coffee, right? But then the suite probably coffee machine, coffee maker, something like that.
So the complimentary things.
Yeah, complimentary drinks. Later on, we will touch a bit about water in the hotel. Yeah. So also the hotel services, in-room dining, personal butler. So if you go St. Regis is actually known with the personal butler. Meaning you can just pick up the phone. I want a cup of cappuccino, please, and he will just deliver to you. It's called personal butler, and that's how they position their service. Yeah. Okay, next. This is Moxie Bandung. How do you choose a suitable brand for specific type? So first, of course, the target market is suitable for the brand. Why they choose Bandung? Because Bandung is a creative city. Yeah, it's very well known with creative people who live in Bandung, and Moxie is a very creative brand. Right? Of course, the second also, actually within when you work with the hotel operator, there is a regulation that there cannot be the same brand within 2-kilometer radius. For example, if you have Moxie here, within 2-kilometer radius cannot be another Moxie. This is to make sure there's a fairness to the owner, or else they will compete because it's the same brands and target market, right? Okay, of course, the last one is owner's technical strength. Yeah. So usually at the beginning, they will ask how much technical you have. For example, it's not just like, oh, I want to get JW Marriott, but then when they check your technical strength, you don't have ability, then they might not agree to give you the luxury brand. So they actually assess your technical strength. Okay. Next slide for the green building certification. So there are several building certification that is known all over the world. For the one in Indonesia, we call it GBC Indonesia. Yeah? They call it non-profit organization. The second one is LEED, which is the international and commonly known, right? And so it is also if you check, it has a lot of points. Yeah. And then the next one is World GBC. And then H is actually just a program. Maybe you can make it smaller, okay? So H is actually collaborate with IFC, International Finance Corporation, which is actually sister company of World Bank. Yeah. Next slide. Okay, there are 2 stages for green ship. Yeah. During the design stage, you can actually start submitting your application. I want to apply for green building, and before the planning or the design is completed, you have to fill in all the points. They will assess, for example, how much material is waste. For example, if one plywood is 1.2 by 2.4 meter, right? But then if you only use a little and then the rest you don't reuse it, you just throw it away, then you don't get the points. But then if you have a proof to show that the rest of the material you reuse as a bench or whatever as furniture, then you get the points. So all the data have to be collected, have to be archived, and have to be shown and proved. Even like the amount of the trash is calculated by meter cubic. How much trash you throw away to the environment. Yeah. So planning stage, and there's a final assessment stage when the building is already ready and during construction. Yeah. So in Indonesia, it's 101 plus 77 points, so its total is 178. Right, and then there are 6 stages of certification, whether you are eligible or not. But then if you go to LEED, it's more than 178. It's more rigid, yeah, more strict. Okay, next slide. Okay, now I saw in your slides here you are checking the sun hours. Now this is if you go, there's a website that you can check the sun hours. Make it smaller a bit, alright? So there's a graph here showing a red meaning more sun hours. So Sumba, if you go to Sumba, it's very hot, right? It's very high sun hours, meaning it's suitable. Yeah, to go, because this is photovoltaic power potential. Yeah, which is the photovoltaic is the material for solar panel. So if you see then, if your project is here, it's not sensible to make solar power. Say, Bandung would be around here. Bandung doesn't have a lot of sun hours. So that's why I say you need to think what is the energy or natural potential before you propose some design elements of some certification, right? Some wind, some also water, right? So there's a lot of things that you can approach, but I don't think sun hours will be the great approach for Bandung because it's not high in sun hours. Okay, next slide. Okay, steps to design a hotel. First is you to select the brand and the site, right? Second is facilities criteria. It's like the shape and the recipe. Oh, I want to create this hotel, but I don't know the recipe. How many keys? How big is the lobby? How big is the what? So later on, I will show what is the facilities criteria looks like. And then actually, before you go to the architect, you go with master planning first. So master planning will assess on the emergency, like tsunami, earthquake, beach line, river line, sound boundaries, building density, etc. So this is all not even design. It's all on the master planning first before you go to the next one. Then you go to Faces Area Program. This is a detailed program. So in this Faces Area Program, it's already very detailed. That you even know how big is your toilet, how many toilets you have, right? Then after that, you appoint the team and the architect and the other consultants, and you do the budget planning. So the good thing is with this one, you can actually from this one, you already do the ROI. So you don't need to appoint first if your ROI doesn't meet. And if the budget doesn't make money, then might as well don't proceed with the hotel. Right? Next slide. Okay.
Can we go like budget first and then we progress develop the component based on budget?
If you want to budget first, but then if you don't know what kind of brand, how you want to make the budget?
Okay, so if we know about the brand and then the let's say we know the construction to build 100 keys for 100 million something, is it can we go backward? Work backward? Is it possible?
I think probably possible, but probably will not. Meaning, then this one your master planning will be the budget driven. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a good and bad with budget driven, right? Because at the end, when you're budget driven, your focus is just profit, but then you probably don't focus a lot on design or user satisfaction, right? But a good product users should be satisfied that they will stay over and over again, or even like, PD or marketing tools and all. I would say there's no definite, but usually the budget goes, yeah. Of course, they have the budget here, but when I see here, it's already like very detailed. Yeah.
Because right now the industry going to look at the profit first. Yeah, and then they never see what they want to reflect like the budget that they have.
Yeah, and the result is your design become rojak. Yeah, right. In Malaysia we call it rojak. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to?
I've been training for quite some time already. Okay, very interesting. I am really here for the first objective learning. And I have been with these students for the past 3 days, walking around, I would say, in Bandung. But this is very interesting when the steps to design a hotel would be brand and site selection, right? However, okay, when we mention about brand and site selection, so I went to Ciwidey, I went to Lembang, Cikole, yeah. We didn't see a lot of big brands there, meaning to say the brand of the hotel there. So being experienced with huge brands like Marriott or even Banyan. I went to Banyan in Penang.
Okay.
It was my daughter's selection. And it is very odd hotel.
Yeah.
The outfit of the day hotel.
Okay.
Going to breakfast wearing something else, going to the beach something else,
Yeah.
So I guess site selection, I can agree, but brand. Because I went to those three places in Bandung. I couldn't find glamour or big brands. So based on experience with big brands, what does big brands look for?
Okay. So big operator have their visibility or what they call PD, business development. So business development have a past experience, which is actually not my expertise. They know which city, what target market, even the sub-market. But one of the big brands is looking for is, for example, either the site has very, very good potential, like Sumba, right? It's very remote, but the view is not replaceable. Or second is accessibility. So if it's a hotel, for sure accessibility, no matter how you work with it. Nowadays, Marriott has been accepting more and more remote hotels actually. The one that is going to open is Maria Manado. It's 2 hours from the city. So you imagine how much tourists would like to come to this hotel. You arrive at the airport, but then you still need to take the road for 2 hours. This is not everyone's cup of tea, right? Unless, go back to that one, unless the site is very unique, is selling something that is not replaceable, right? Either like it's a diving site or whatever. If it's not replaceable, yes, people will come no matter how far or how remote it is. But then, if not, the big brand will also look for that, because comes with the remote area is the buying power. People in Chipolek cannot pay 2 millions, right? Unless you have a very strong brand and a buying power, then But even buying power only comes when you really have a strong brand. So there's a one farm in Sukabumi, actually very remote. Is I think it's developed by a couple with Indonesian and Japanese. They make a very beautiful architecture. It's called Suka Santai Farm. Very remote, very expensive. I tried to stay there, but because I want to go only for one person, he said, we charge per head, not per room. Meaning you have to pay for 2 heads. I was like, what? Like I've been in the industry for so long, I never pay for 2 heads, I always pay per room. But they have a very strong brand. So when I say brand, it doesn't mean that it has to be already well-known brand or the established. But if you have a very strong brand conception in your mind, you can make it. Yeah, you can make it. For example, Aman Group. Anyone wants to guess where is Aman Group from? Indonesia, right. It's Asian Japan. So it's in Indonesia, but he has very strong brand in his mind. I want this Aman to be like this. And now Aman is in 26 countries, right? But the rest, yes, if you go to this all remote area, what happens is, at the end is the Asal Jadi brand. Whatever that you can produce, then is the Airy or Red Hotels, that kind of standard. There is no strong brand positioning. That's why brand is very important when you're talking about luxury, when you are talking about something, right? It's like, I would always share this as a brand is like the J.K. Rowling of the Harry Potter. I have the idea of what this looks like, but then the architect, probably the one who designed, I want the castle of the Harry Potter like this, but he has to believe in the brand, he has to believe in the story. So what is the brand? What is people buying? Right? Some hotel is even very doesn't use luxury finishes. It's just like export cement or whatever. But when it's designed well, it could also sell, right? Yeah. So I would say depends on the owner again, based on the owner's capital strength. But owners who doesn't have capital strength, at the end, you're just here. Yeah. You are not strong, right? Unless you are very strong in your concept. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is basically this is sample from my Lombok project, yeah. So I have 10 hectares. In this project, I was the master planner. So they were asking, can you help with the fence criteria? I want residences, I want rooms, I want special needs. Just this, so this is one of these. So this is what I call shared and receiving, or else even the architect will know where to start, right? The architect may just, I put all rooms, then no facility, then how you make money, right? Because there are certain expectations when it's already luxury, actually you have more than one restaurant. That one is already expectation. So you have one holiday dining and one specialty, that is the minimum. If you go to several luxury, it's actually already one holiday dining and 2 specialty. This is already sort of the expectation. If you go to Banyan Tree Bintang, there's a saffron or whatever, and they have to keep changing because hotel is very competitive. Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Okay, this is from my Lombok project, yeah, the master planner with ITDC. So the thing with ITDC, you have to present to the government actually, right? So you enter from this. So this is the hotel block. The I is the hotel block. Anyone want to guess why it's green? Why the top of the building block is green? Is it not already the answer?
Good answer.
Good. Anyone want to try?
Race.
Yeah, grass. Why we grass is on top of the building? It's for tsunami evacuation. So within this complex, we have to study fire, earthquake, and tsunami, and also beach. So this one, if you see the density is getting even more dense. Later on the next slide, you see. So 25-meter beach line, because beach has a pasang surut, yeah, the high tide and low tide. And then this one, there's a different density. No, it's very different building with ITDC and with just like non-ITDC, because ITDC is actually sort of a company or department appointed by government to manage 10 special economic zones in Indonesia, from Samosir, Bali, Lombok. So there are 10 economic zones, and they are also very environmental different. Central Taiwan, they have a very strict standard. So it's not like you can just put anyhow. So the building density is not based on the overall, but also based on the setback. So okay, next slide. So this is the one that I said. There's a setback 25 up to 75, and only after 75 you can go building density, because they want to make sure. But it's also actually safe for your building. If something happens with the tsunami, all the semi-permanent building probably will be washed away, right? But then your investment will still be there probably, because the further away from the beach will be lesser impact for the tsunami.
Minimal damage now.
Yeah, minimal damage. So this is, they have a different setback regulation. So within the zone 2 only 1 level, zone 3 only 2 level, zone the next one then you can go high rise. So the high rise only on that side. Yeah. Okay. So building coverage, yeah. Building coverage also depends. So zone 2 is still 0%, only movable zone. So that's why on zone 2 is nothing, fully green. So as an investor, actually you will see, wow, I cannot use the land for something that makes money. So it's very strict, but in a way it's also good for you and good for the environment. But yeah, because it's very strict, that's the maximum we can achieve. 250 keys with all the residences. This one is already very perfect. Okay, next slide. This is natural disaster risk mitigation, earthquake and fire. So earthquake and fire we can combine. For fire, the rule of thumb is to go away from the building, right? Also for earthquake, the same, right? Try to go out from the building if you can, or else you hide under the table or whatever, right? So that's why we combine it, and we also study the collapse prone zone, right? What is the distance coefficient? So we study that. Okay, next slide. And then we have the tsunami evacuation. So within the tsunami, within the area, as a master planner, you have to think the evacuation for your property, but also as a big site of Mandalika, they have the site evacuation point for the tsunami as well. So actually next to this, there's a hill. So you have to go to the hill until the evacuation team can rescue you here. So there's a safe category building. So in tsunami, it's different with earthquake. The higher it is, the safer it is, because tsunami is by water, right? So you want to go up. But then if fire, it goes down. So you saw one signage before, right? Fire go down, tsunami goes up, right?
Upside down.
Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Okay, this is about life cycle. Can you make it more fit screen? Royce? We need to see the numbers at the below. Yeah. So this is actually 5. Okay. So this is your building condition. Building and profit. Yeah. So once open the market, people start to get to know your hotel, you start to make money. But then by 7 years, it's actually start degrading. So most of the international hotel operator, they will start to ask you for renovate interior wise from year 7. year 7 to year 10. Why? Because by this, they are expected to make the curve is not going down, but at least flat or keep going up. That's why international hotel operator will ask you to upgrade by year 7 to 9 because based on data, this is the time when your interior starts showing, either old age or tear wear. Yeah. Yeah, recent trends, sometimes design already outdated, also even technology, right? Before, if we go to hotel, it's all the cube type, right? But now we don't have any more that. Even now we cannot catch up with the TV. Before it's only normal TV, but now it's IPTV, now it's smart TV. All the technology keep coming out and all the plus getting more and more. So connectivity, all this affecting the design. Okay? But of course, this one is excluding the other unexpected factors like pandemic, global economic crisis, war, or whatever, right? Okay, next slide. Okay, there's a question about specific practices in Malaysia to ensure sustainability in terms of operation. Yeah. So in terms of operation, I don't see much except these two items. First is of course, toilets, which now we go with the dispenser type. So it's less plastic flush, and the other is the water. This is in element Kuala Lumpur. It's actually using 3M filter. This is drinkable, but again, there's no filter below. So this is just a normal water tap to wash, and this is a drinkable water tap. So element core value is equally energy environment. So element from Marriott. Yeah, so that's why they have this innovative. But if you go to other brand like Airtel or whatever, they don't really have it. They don't, because that's not that brand strong positioning. Yeah. However, I actually did a research with one non-profit organization in Yogyakarta about the linen waste per hotel. So linen cycle from the hotel, actually after 300 wash, it starts to be non-usable. So, start whether the towels or the bed linens. Then what happens with all this linen waste? Right? It's actually one of the biggest waste of fabric as well in the industry. Based on my research, so in the US, that fabrics or their towels, usually they cut into smaller pieces. They resell it to the veterinarians for the pets, right? Or to the automotive industry. Because automotive, to wipe all the grease or whatever, after they just throw away. But then there is not much movement to recycle this fabric waste from the hotel. While actually the water consumption and linen waste from the hotel contributes one of the biggest waste in the industry. So that's one set factor. Yeah.
So maybe how to overcome.
Yeah, in my proposal last time, I tried to think about it and maybe work with the common penjahit, tailor, make it like sugary or whatever, but not much. Probably from towel will become the food cassette, right, or whatever, but not much. Because even if you want to make it more like a yarn again, actually the water content is very high. So it's, people hide behind the level of environment, but actually if you dissect the process, they do a lot of water and energy consumption. It's not really green. So, it's always debatable. What is green? What is recyclable? Right? Is recyclable? That's a matter of creating new form, new shape. But if you, in the process to go there, is actually you consume much more electrical, right? Like all this plastic, it's consume very high electricity, right? So what's green? It's very debatable. Okay, next. Okay, now public. Anyone wants to have questions and answer? Questions from the audience?
Can you share the experience how the party Marriott and then the developer, the Mawati, meet the agreement? So you be the operator of their building. Because I'm also involved at the early stage on the project. I believe that the design already there. They want to operate by their own brand, but afterward, they do not maybe the discussion, the consideration. They say that the ROI, if you using the brand, more faster than using their own brand because they will not be recognized yet.
Yeah. So under hotel local operator, there are two types of management. Manage, which is managed by the operator, right? Or franchise. So franchise means owner operate their own. But for Marriott to allow owner for franchise, the owner has to have hotel experience background. And if I'm not mistaken, there's also a number of hotels that they should have. I think more than 20 hotels they should have. Then Marriott believe, oh, you are capable to have franchise, and that's why they allow you. So there's like a filter system. So if you don't have this experience, directly you go to manage. But again, like I said, right, if you want to sell a car, let's say this car is actually built in China, right? Whether you want to go with Mercedes, like just put the logo there, or you just want to put Putera, right? Which one you think will sell faster? Of course, the one that is more well known, right? Yeah. So, but in Indonesia now we have the first franchise in already, Autograph, Sari Pacific, which is already the first franchise. So it's a good sign that hotel operator now is more open to allow owners to own and operate, even though the owner is not having more than 20 hotels, but they are allowing it now. Yeah. Any other question?
So means that Marriott try to suit the operator needs and then to make it the agreement mutual benefit.
I would say Marriott is more, Marriott realized that hotel is very competitive. If they are like trying to asking too much, the owner will go to Accor, Hilton, right? There's a lot of other hotel operators. This is like dating, right? Which one can offers me better benefit, better profit? So yeah, it's very competitive, and Marriott realized that they need to make it more sense. Yeah. I think that's how I say, although I'm more on the physically or business development. Any other questions?
Go ahead. Actually, from my view, for these 3 days that I do this site analytics and so on, I found that actually most of the not only hotel in Bandung, I use Bandung. It's just that maybe golf club or something. That one we consider that one is famous or luxury area that VIP visit or like someone afford to visit. But I saw that actually they are not focusing about the development. Which means they try to bring the name or the brand to maybe go international or something. Because when I try to interview and talk to the staff or the management, they are only focusing about to sustain, but not to bring the brand or something on top. So actually, just from your view, actually you said the brand and also the site selection. But actually, from my view, I cannot see the brand from that view. But it is focusing about the sustainability on it.
Sorry. So your question is why they are not focusing on the brand?
Yes. Because actually your SOP, which means your guideline, actually the brand is the most important, right?
I wouldn't say the most. I would say it's critical. But again, if your expectation is just like a 3-star airy types of hotels, you don't need a brand probably, right? But if you're talking about luxury or whatever, it's important. But nevertheless, brand is also a conception. Whether you're, what kind of look and feel of this hotel, right? So brand, I would say when you touch the luxury level, brand is already necessary. But if you go on the premium or select, premium expected to have, I would say good to have because the price range also already different. But select service you probably don't need, right? Probably. It depends, right? Some select service is a boutique, so it still have a brand, although it's a small key, right? So it's very different, and brand is just helping you to like approach strategy, how to reach the target market, how they think, what is the expectation, what is the suitable for distribution, something like that. Right? Whether their expectancy of Coca-Cola, right? So what kind of hotel expected? Just like, for example, in Malaysia, city like Malacca or Penang, very rich in culture, right? So you would expect a hotel that is very rich in cultural different. Probably fair suddenly very straightforward, clean lines, probably will not that fit, right? But still can do, you can touch a bit, but probably like autograph collection or whatever collection with very strong in the culture would be fit more, because I think foreigner comes to Penang or Malacca with expected, I want to see this Peranakan heritage or whatever, right?
The uniqueness of the place.
Yeah, the uniqueness of the area that is like not replaceable, right?
That thing actually to try to fit with the local outcome. Because actually I found that the local actually this local actually 106 years the age the service they are not that eager to bring up the local, but it is like we are already suitable. This means they are comfort at that zone already. They just focusing on sustain. And then they have a lot of members, I know, registered with them. But the member also actually is coming from family members itself. It's made from the father and go to son and so on. It's not that they are targeted to others than this kind of from a family.
Yeah, probably go back to the owner's preference as well. Some owners prefer boutique management. Like, why should I have more headache to manage when this is my sweet spot? Just managing this is enough for me and for my family, and maybe they have other business. Right? Rarely there is an owner focusing on the hotel, to be honest. Usually they have other industry, right? They have industry, whether it's fabric or whatever. So, yeah, it could be, my guess would be financial driven, right? Probably that's already their sweet spot. Some owners really, they don't want to renovate unless there's like some complaints start to appear. Because this is already my sweet spot. It's general thing like, I still remember there's one owner that we asked to renovate, that's the old building. But the occupancy is 90%. Then my owner says, it's already 90%. Why you are so fussy? It's already 90%. Even if I renovate, I will spend so much money, probably 90 to 92% or whatever. So it's already good for them. So they feel like that's why another 7 years then I'll renovate.
They already have their own strong financial, right?
Yeah, it's already good for them, and because once you think to renovate or whatever, meaning you have to close some areas. Meaning what? Meaning like reducing income actually. And it's not easy, like you end up with all the complaints, the GM has to give compensation or spa voucher, every voucher, whatever. It's never good for the experience at all. So that's why, if possible, all the construction, if we can finish before opening, that's the ideal. But of course, the reality is always overlap, or there's very 100% ready before the openings. Yeah. So not everyone believes in a strong brand, and also not every brand needs a strong brand, but it needs to have a brand, even it's a select service. But maybe how strong it is, back to the owner, back to the what's your target positioning for this hotel. Let me see if there's what about the online group? Is there any questions from the online group? right, there's no question. Any more question?
Oh, sorry. Okay. This is not really a question. Okay, I would like to know because I am an engineer. I am not an architect. So to a certain extent, I cannot view pretty things as good as architects do. It's just that let's say I have someone plenty of money, and due to the fact that tourism is something good right now, but I have some area somewhere in Chile, nearby the glamping site, the next to the love stone, something like that, when they say. It is very rural, you know. The access is quite small, not that very good, but accessible. But I envision to have a expensive romantic theme resort. So, what do you think as a designer? Can my vision can be turned into a physical development, or what are the things that I need to consider? But I think you know, but based on my observation, there are plenty of resorts there, but it is very small in numbers of buildings, numbers of keys, yeah. But when we ask the operator, it is fully booked. So I mean, why don't they make a lot more the keys? You know. So one is, why do you think I should consider if I would like to have an expensive romantic theme resort? And the other one, why does I cannot generalize that, but those places that I went to and saw, the keys are very small in numbers.
And for the first question, why whether it's suitable is actually based on the market study again. So actually, like I said, there's a visibility team, or if you don't have visibility team, you can appoint them consultant. They do a study. Whereas mostly like you need new honeymooners goes for honeymoon. What are the ideas? If you like, oh, actually there is no data that this is the destination, but you really have a short vision, it might be doable, right? But it's also a gamble, right? It's safer if you say, oh, 90 or 70% of Indonesian goes to Bali for honeymoon, for example, then it's safe to put in parlor in Chile, for example. That is part one. So there is a market study based on that, and there are professionals that you can pay, researchers that you can pay for it. Of course, it's you have to pay for it. They will interview people or whatever. Sorry, what's your second question again?
The second one, numbers.
Oh, number of days. Most of the time, because they just write playing the darts. Oh, I think 10 enough. Okay, 10. Or like this. That's why the hotel technical consultant is quite important, right? Like the Lombok, why is 250 is the maximum, because when we try to pay, oh yeah, it is already full the site, and the GSP whatever, but the numbers is already full. But then, to be honest, a lot of owners, they don't have this understanding. Oh, I need to appoint this team, I need to have the correct purchase criteria, or the other factor probably is money, right? I think I don't know whether in Malaysia, but in Indonesia, on the paper of the cost like this, of the perizinan, well, that one is another cost that is actually not stated. Yeah. I once joined the rail. This is rail station. It's not even hotel. There's a study how to develop from an area to become a small residential complex. So the cost of land acquisition until it's sold is actually 3 times. To make it just equal, meaning the biaya perizinan, the blah blah blah, the uang rokok is almost 3 times, and they just try to make it even. So, for example, if you buy a land 1 juta per meter square, it's actually with TDA traditional. So, 1 juta per meter square. By the way, this is Bogor area. So if you want to make money, but if you don't have the study yet, how much do I want to sell on the output price? Because then you want to sell, let's say 45 meters square residential, plus now the meter square per building for rumah sederhana for millions, right? Jadi 45 times 4, but then how do you calculate the rent? You cannot calculate 1 million because there's a fee residual, then there's a, combining the certificate, we split again because there are process of that. Actually just times 3, so become 3 juta, then you add to the rent cost, then you add to the profit, and that's how you can actually sell. So it's not a joke with all this kind of residual and whatever money. Afiq, you want to have
Hi, Margaret. For RI, usually how many years the hotel operator strike for RI?
Okay. If you go to self-service, the fastest you can go is 6 years. Fastest, 6 to 9. That's self-service. But if you go with premium and luxury, that means premium starting from 10, maybe 8 to 12. Then luxury is beyond 13 years. But this one, if you go with hotel operator. If you go with your own, which you can make more profits, it will be faster. Provided you have enough experience to be smarter than your employee or whatever. Because employees use from hotels, yeah. That's one of the, and they can do double booking. So that's when we go to the nitty-gritty, there's a lot of hidden costs and the owners needs to be aware of. Yeah, I ordered 100 kilograms of chicken, but it's only sold this, because it's very difficult to calculate this everything cost, right? How do you say 100 chicken equals to 100 servings? It's not like that, right? It's not like 1 to 1. How do you want to monitor? You don't even know if employees cheating or they do double booking or double bookkeeping. That's why it's very difficult. So provided you can really manage well, it will be faster.
But the range of the return, that's the risk.
With international hotel operator, I would say 6 is usually very optimistic for services. Yeah.
Basically, after you got the ROI, so you still continue to operate the hotel or you just?
Oh, you still continue because your agreement with the hotel operator is usually 20 to 25 years. It's not short. And it's very difficult to say 6 to 9 years because, for example, in Japan, rent cost is very expensive. So you cannot equalize hotel development cost in Japan with Indonesia. It's very different. Currency is already very different. Commuter space is very different. So even we as a, as a hotel operator, it's very difficult to put apple to apple. We cannot say like, oh, 6 years is definite because based on the data, which one you want to use? South Korea, Japan, Singapore, Indonesia? Right. Like Indonesia, rent probably cheap, but it comes with all the criteria, the cost become like this, right? But in Japan, rent is very expensive, manpower is very expensive, it's very different. That's why even with the same brand, room size could be different. Moxie in Japan is very, very small because it's very expensive. And the operator have to accept it. But if you go to Moxie Bandung, there's even a loft. Because the rent is cheaper, manpower is cheaper. So if you go to Fairfield in US, it's like a hotel, It's not good at all. It's like 3-star brand. But then when you go to Asia, why it becomes more luxury? Because the owner can spend the money more on the finishes because manpower is cheaper, except for South Korea, Japan, and Singapore. Except for these 3 areas, the rest of the Asia is quite cheap and affordable. Vietnam, Malaysia, yeah.
So for the rent from Marriott product, the starting price is determined by the tier and also
The tier and also the competitor around. No matter how much you want, because they know, okay, it's Fairfield, my competitor is this brand, right? And if your competitor is selling 700,000, you cannot sell 1 million at the beginning. You should start with 650 or whatever, and gradually ramp up as a room revenue. So that one is another strategy, right? If you go directly suddenly much higher, either you're very strong brand and your target market is very specific, or you have a very strategic location that is not reversible, like next to MRT, next to airport, that one is like, no matter how lousy it is, people will stay, right? Yeah, so it's very different. Like airport hotel, even though it's like 3 by 2, because people will pay because they want to sleep overnight. So it's different. Like the same room size. If you're near the airport or just next to the airport, it's very different if you go to the suburb. So it's not just by brand, it's also by location, by surrounding brands, and by buying power in that area. Because right now in Indonesia and Malaysia is different, right? Like a lot of Marriott, not a lot. I think only one hotel in Marriott that is connected to shopping mall, which is out of Kuta, inshallah Kuta. The rest is not connected because it's not like Kuala Lumpur, All of Kuala Lumpur connected to train, whatever brand connected to mall. It's so convenient, and that's why people love it. People love. There's a lot of Marriott in Kuala Lumpur because of that. Because even the government and the owners' preference of fantasy, they want to open the hotel to connect to the mall, whatever. But in Indonesia, it's very seldom directly connected. Not many, I would say. Especially in Jakarta where the commuting is so high. So probably only, Central Park itu ya, Pacific Asia Resort, Grand Hyatt, Grand Hyatt sama, not really direct. If you go to Kuala Lumpur, you just go down, it's already mall, it's not like you go to some alley or Central. I said it's very because that one is helping the operator, but also that one will be depending on your programming. So when the hotel is really connected to a mall, usually if you're service, you don't want to provide a big restaurant. Because people will go to the shopping mall and not going to the restaurant. Why people would buy? They don't even probably have like retail or whatever. They will buy the water at the supermarket. So usually they will not bother some to provide whatever. It's very simple, just room to stay as long as good Wi-Fi. But then when it's not connected, when it's remote, that's where you want to make money, right? So resort is like every corner, very different. Any more questions? Ya, silakan.
Good afternoon, my name is Malaysia. I'm sorry, I talk in Indonesian. Keluarga saya baru membeli tanah nih 13.000 meter di daerah Puncak, Kota Bunga. Makanya saya datang sini pengen belajar juga. Itu ada kayak sungai, terusnya namanya air terjun seperti itu sih. Kami mungkin untuk mendevelopnya sebagai hotel mungkin akan perlu biaya tambahan gitu ya. Jadi kita mungkin belum sampai situ, atau mungkin kalau ada investor itu kira-kira berapa sih perbandingan untuk sahamnya, misalkan itu salah satunya. Terus tadi dikatakan Konklusion membutuhkan biaya lagi. Itu kalau dari segi brand misalnya Marriott itu mereka apakah ada suatu angka ideal berapa persen dari modal awal pada saat bangun, atau memang sesuai dari waktu itu aja gitu, kira-kira berapanya gitu, apakah ada angka ideal gitu?
Okay. First, let me just address the question. So, her family has purchased a 13,000 land in Kota Bunga, and the two questions is the first one, if they would like to joint venture with someone else, what is the percentage? And second is the 7 years renovation, is it based on some percentage value or not? Okay. The first one, there is no strict regulation on the joint venture. It's really based on you and your partner. Because this is your individual, right? You're not with the operator. So there is no strict. It depends on who wants to do what, and the bigger the percentage, the bigger the influence, right? The authority to make decision. Second, whether it's based on percentage, no. It's based on the proposal design 7 years or when it's done. Because by the time if we reach that time, we still don't know what is the TV price 7 years from now. We don't know, right? We don't even know what kind of technology in 7 years. Probably it's all AI already like all, you know, we don't even know what's the future now. So it's not, you cannot predict now. You can only know later, but usually it's design driven. So hotel, international operator will ask you to appoint interior designer, and they have to approve the design before you proceed with the renovation. So it's not as simple as you just renovate anyhow, because with international hotel operator they are quite strict. But if you go with franchise, then probably you have more rules to do your own. Yeah. So that's why I think if someone asks me, would you go with international hotel operator or local operator, I would say, if I have a lot of like profit for myself after all the calculation, I probably go with the international operator just for the sake of learning the experience. You learn how they manage, you learn their system, whatever. And actually there are some owners who do that. And after several years they come to the appointments because they already get the knowledge. But then if you are not ready to be involved hands-on, you don't have time, it's better we go with the operator, because the purpose of going with operator is you don't have headache, right? Suddenly problem with genset or whatever in the middle of the night and people complaining or whatever. So but then if you won't have to have more profit, go with local operator, because they don't eat as much as the international. That's how I would say. Okay, any more questions?
First, I want to know where is the exact location that into Kota Bunga that Felicia mentioned. And then second, for the study purpose, I would like to know what is the different policy or regulation for the individual and corporate.
Individual owner and corporate owner.
Yeah.
Oh, Kota Bunga in Jawa Barat, ya. Puncak is, it's like the Genting of Kuala Lumpur. That's how you put it. Yeah, so not far, but then the difference between corporate and individual is the background checking. Yeah, I think for the corporate they have the different background checking. For individual, I would say there's seldom one individual hotel owners, because usually they don't have enough. Usually three. Usually in most of the projects I handle, not minimum. I mean most common I encounter 3 owners, because it just makes so expensive to build a hotel. Any more questions?
Margaret, perhaps echo it to Miss Margaret, Miss Felicia. So she was expecting some joint venture, yes?
Okay.
So, but technically our assignment related to public-private partnership. Yeah. So in Indonesia, is there any trend or is there any possibilities whereby there is a partnership between the government and the private entity in developing hotels?
Yes, the answer is yes. So I know one of my previous owner in Malacca now is talking to Indonesian government already. So yes, it's very possible. Either the individual is the one in from Indonesia. I don't know what Indonesian government, but Indonesian government is open to individual or corporate from Malaysia. It's possible, but all the steps has to be followed. Yeah, but if you have high connection, probably you skip the last step. You don't need all this wallpaper, just like have a drink and that's it.